Well, it's time for another episode of Gotham Knights. We are now 5 episodes in, and these episodes just seem to be getting even more emptier. There is just nothing going on whatsoever. And it's, what's really strange that I've actually noticed with this show is every episode is exactly the same. It's, right, we need this file to prove our innocence, so they go off and get that. And then the next episode, right, we need a file to prove our innocence, and they go and get that, and they've done that like every episode. It's like, you've done that 5 episodes in a row now. Can we move the story forward, maybe? Or are we just spending time on absolutely nothing? Half the time with especially this episode, I'm confused on what the purpose, like, this character's storyline is. It seems like some of the characters are where they're contracted to be in this episode and that episode, so we need to give them some screen time. And that's mainly what we get with Stephanie, is, she's given a speech at school, and her mum's a druggie. And that's all there is. It doesn't play into the grand scheme of things, so I'm just like, what are we doing? What are we at? It's now, we've now had 5 episodes. Remember, you've only got 12, so maybe do something. Do something with that. Don't just have it, they need a file to prove their innocence. We go and get the file, mainly in the stupidest way possible. Like, say, getting a fugitive to walk into a police station to steal a file. And then what we're going to do is we're going to repeat that the next episode. I mean, even episode 3 and 4, that's what they had. Cullen has got to go off to get a file out of the GCPD. So that's honestly all we've done so far, is gather files. And not much else has happened. It's so empty and vacuous. It's got nothing to say. It really hasn't. It's just, here's some things. Here's some things. We couldn't come up with anything cohesive. Nothing can sit. It's just, they go and get files. Right, I might as well get a job in an office at that point, and just start sorting out paperwork. So, yeah, I don't know what the fuck what the plan is with this show. It's just random shite. Go and get that file. We need that file to prove our innocence. They still haven't proven their innocence, and 5 episodes in. Okay, the Court of Owls don't show up either. I thought this was about the Court of Owls. Where the fuck are they? Alright, we got to get files on them. It all involves files, but let's get in there anyway, because this is going to be a flying visit, I hope. Because I've only got like a page of notes. Because I'm just like, there's nothing to talk about. I don't really know what I can talk about when it's just go and get a file. So it opens up with a couple local business owners. It's got the mob. The mob are like, you're short on the money. Our boss doesn't do IOUs, so they burn the business down. Right, okay, that's a good way to get money, isn't it? Take the business completely out of the equation. Don't cut someone's finger off or something. No, just go, all right, now we don't, even though you're short, we don't want any of your money. Right, okay. Of course, with this, they completely fuck over Batman. They make it seem as though he has not achieved anything from when he became the Batman. But that comes up a bit later on. So that's how it starts. And then we don't need to talk about this because it's just Carrie having a conversation with her mum about, there's something going on at me fucking school. And that's it. That's it. It's some meeting about, I don't know, parents meeting? I don't know what it is, but they have that conversation like, that's going on. You don't need to come, mum. You can go to your shift at the doctor's. And that's all it is. And I'm just like, this is what we're starting with? Okay, if that's what you want to do. So, yeah, we can skip that. Again, most of this stuff I'm just going to skip because it achieves nothing. Other than, it introduces Carrie's mum. She's a nurse, I think. And like she's like, you know, she works late nights, so that's why Carrie can go out at night, even though what heroing is Carrie doing, I ask? It tends to happen off screen a lot. We just hear about it. We don't actually see her take down a bad guy. Generally, it's all off screen. So I don't know what she's up to. So we get that scene, and then again, they are in the clock tower of the school, and I just find it hilarious. For how many weeks have they been here, and you've just got people coming and going all the time, and no teacher is like, why the fuck is Stephanie going up there? She keeps going up there. She's taking donuts up there and all that. No one seems to notice it, even though they're fugitives, which I don't even think the police are looking for them anymore. I think they've gave that up. It really seems like it. So then we get more, again, the start of every episode is a clunky bit of dialogue, essentially telling the viewers what we're doing. And then I realise at the end of the episode, oh, we didn't solve the files from the last episode. We didn't do anything with it. Where it turned out, oh no, the Talon is actually some dead man who's still alive. And they bring it up at the start of this episode. You have Turner say, tell me you found an explanation for how a century-old, supposedly dead serial killer left fresh fingerprints on Eunice Monroe's music box. So you see how you don't need to say that. You could just say, have you figured anything out about these serial killer? It's like you can just say something simple, but you have like this long piece of dialogue that is just really clunky, and it doesn't even make sense why he's asking Stephanie that, because it's Carrie. Carrie is doing the fingerprint stuff, not Stephanie. So I don't know why you're saying that to Stephanie, but that's what we've had, like, basically at the start, like maybe 4 minutes into each episode. We get a clunky piece of dialogue, like, we got to remind the audience what we're doing, and then we don't actually do that for the rest of the episode. We move on to the next file we need. So that's how they open up. Stephanie, it turns out, has been doing a bit of digging. Again, you notice in this show, whenever they need anything done, it's just, oh, it's already done. Because this character is a genius. Everybody's a genius. Stephanie's been looking into the nursing home about Eunice's music box. Her dad's been playing with her music box. Even that bit of dialogue, I'm like, that's, fingerprints on Eunice Monroe's music box. She's like, oh, I've been looking through the files, and I was looking to see if Cressida, the butler, fake Alfred, if she was paying for Eunice's nursing bills. I'm like, why would she be paying for it? It's not her mum. It's like, surely the Court of Owls, someone at the Court of Owls would be paying for it. And they seem to think the Court of Owls have a shared bank account. I'm like, I don't know why you think that they just have one bank account that says the Court of Owls, but no, they are all the the elite of Gotham that have their own money. There's no like little piggy bank that they put money into to share. It's like, no, they've got individual accounts. But no, we're supposed to believe that the Court of Owls have a shared bank account. Why would they? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. It's like, turns out, it's a shell company that is probably controlled by the Court of Owls to pay for things they don't want traced back to them. But for some reason she has their tax returns. The Court of Owls has tax returns. No, I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know why they've made it work that way. That the Court of Owls has a shared account to pay for things. It's like, why would they? I mean, that's if you're a secret society. I don't think you want to be found out in the slightest. It's still funny that she has their tax returns for a secret society. Right. We're supposed to believe that then. That leads them to some shell company, and they're like, does it have an address? So that's where they're going. But first, we got to go and check in on Harvey. The way they do the Two-Face in this show is fucking shit. So yeah, he's like kind of like, I don't know, I don't know, one of the elite's wives, she comes to see him about something like, what were you talking to my husband about? Did you tell us about us? And he's like, what do you mean us? That was years ago. So that comes into it later on. They've gone out in a car again as fugitives, right? Okay, that's how that works. There's no police about, so they could just go it wherever, even though their faces should be plastered all over the news, wanted posters. No, they just drive about like it's like a Sunday drive. And it's really getting to me now. I'm just like, can we stop this, please? So yeah, she's like, oh, I used to, you know, again, it's always, we need to figure out how to do this. Well, what's her name? Well, Harper, she dated a guy that, this is to do with a mob. She dated the son of the mob boss, which I think is a woman, apparently. Of course it is. I mean, they do say her later on, so I can only assume. But again, it's just like every time they need something to go on, it's like, that character knows about it. You know, no one's really got to strain themselves to get a piece of information. It's just like, this person we're with just so happens to know. So she's like, I dated him, you know, she banged him and that. And the reason why she banged him, we will eventually get to that, because that's really funny. We get to it. So yeah, they're like, what are they talking about here? So yeah, they're now assuming that, the court is laundering money because apparently Harper knows that the money that the person they're laundering money for, nobody knows except the head honcho, except the mob boss. So they're like, oh, the Court of Owls is laundering money. Why the Court of Owls laundering money? They are the elite of Gotham. What do they need to clean money for? I don't know. They're not selling drugs. They're just like elite, people that control everything. They've got no, so if they've got no reason to launder anything. All their money's clean. But that's apparently set up. Again, I'm confused on a lot of this Court of Owls stuff. I'm just like, so they have a shared bank account. They also launder money. They're not a crime fucking family. They're not, they laundering money. I don't know what's going on. They got to have something to say about them. So then, like, they find out they may have a ledger on who this person is. That's what you do with a secret society. The mob boss is the only person that knows who it is. Yet they keep a ledger that has like all the details to do with the Court of Owls. So that's what they got to do. So the camera pans over to Turner, and he's like, "We're gonna rob the mob. Fuck off." Honestly, that really annoys me. Just like saying things like that. It's like, that's a reference to a movie. That's been said in movies before. We're going to rob the mob. And that's how it comes across. It's like, oh, reference. We get a reference to Killer Croc as well. That's amazing. So yeah, they're gonna rob the mob. Carrie's like, you're gonna rob the mob? Are you fucking stupid or something? Yeah, and even she says, like, storming a mob stronghold in broad daylight, what could go wrong? You could get picked up by the police for being fugitives. But no, they're going to do it in broad daylight, and I cannot wait to see how they get there. They've got to figure out a way, right, how do we get into this compound, which of course they go for. We'll take a ride on one of the trucks that goes in there. And, most people would think, oh, they're going to jump in the back of the truck. No, they don't do that. I think we're getting to it anyway. So then we're back with Harvey. He goes and sees his therapist friend. And he's like saying to her, I've got missed time and all that. I've ended up with this key. That is to do with the mayor's car. So essentially what they're not going for, Harvey Dent is you know, however, whatever, you know, whether you did it the Dark Knight way, or more of the, you know, the long Halloween way where it's like his wife gets killed, all this stuff going wrong, and that suddenly just, you know, switches, and he's kind of turns villainous. They don't do it that way. They just he's missing time, so he's got like some identity summon that his dad had, where there's two personalities. So I'm just like, well, you're doing that the very boring way. So after he tells her all this, she prescribes him stuff for anxiety, and then she donates to his campaign because she's like, Gotham needs you. And I'm just like, after what he told you, I don't think he's the right guy to put in the role. I don't think that's the case, but that's what they're gonna do. So then here she, like, Cullen's obsessed with, like, oh, how do you dated someone from the mob? But there is a reason for it. Can't wait to get to it. I can't wait to share it with you. So how they do this, right? Right. So you see the truck. That's the truck. So right. So first of all, so you've been hanging on the bottom of that truck for how long? You know, at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I don't know where it come from. So he's hanging on there. Now, where do you think the rest of the crew is? We'll go through it frame by frame. So he comes out. He's still running about with a samurai sword for some reason. He's never even used it. And do you want to kill people? I don't know what he's doing with it. So then, right, she comes out of there. Right, okay, right. So how are you getting... I don't know. Look, they just come out the side. Right, so all of you were hanging off the bottom of that? I don't know what you were jumping at. I don't think that's an open area underneath there. And I can't believe they did it that way. It's like, just have them jump in the back of it, rather than having it... No, they all hung on like this, because they've got all this strength that they can hang on to a truck, to the bottom of a truck for 25 minutes. Oh, whatever. Why do that? Just put them in the back of a truck. It's simple. So, yeah, they're now in the place. We have this little side story about Stephanie's crackhead mama. And I don't really know. It's got no reason to be here. There's no purpose for it. It's just, oh, we need the Stephanie actress. We said that she could be in every episode. So we've got to do something with her. So she's just given a speech at some school meeting. Her mum's there getting drugged up and everything. You know, popping pills. And she starts getting embarrassed with her. There's no purpose to it, so we can skip it. It's just a crackhead mummy. So now they're over here, and then he goes out and knocks this guy out, because the writers seem to think just because he's Batman's adopted son, therefore he can fight the same way as Batman. So that's what they do. They get in this place. They quit. They easily get in the safe. That takes them like 5 seconds. They're in there. They've got the ledger. She sees what's in the ledger, yet doesn't say anything to the end of the episode about what's in there. There's a pile of money there. I'm like, a secret society's making it so easy for people to find out about them, aren't they? They're going, we need money laundered for some reason, even though we're just a secret society. We are not a criminal organisation. So we're laundering money. We're going to pay the mob to do it, so people know about us. And then even though we don't want them to know about us, we're also going to let them keep a ledger with details of us in it. And they also leave all this money here just for anyone to come in and take it. It's Gotham. There's a lot of thieves in Gotham. So, yeah, maybe don't just leave a pile of money there. You know, maybe. And, yeah, also, the reason for why there's nobody here is because it's Sunday. And because it's the Irish mob, they all go to church on Sunday. Yet there's a pile of money here. It's like people are going to be protecting that constantly. You're not going to go, nah, leave it, it's church. That's more important than all this money. So then luckily, it's the mob boss's son that Harper banged for a certain reason. We go back to that again. I'm just skipping it. It's pointless. It's all pointless. I've went over about as much as I can, really. Of that, I think the only thing to say about the Harvey stuff is Like, he seems to think that he killed the mayor, even though he didn't have access to the bomb. And also that the mayor had a coin with an owl on it. So I don't really know why he's just going, I killed the mayor, even though I had no access to the bomb. That when I got to the bomb, it was already gone. So that's what happens there. Part of the drama in this episode is Carrie didn't think her mum was coming to this thing, and then she does come to it, and Carrie's like, oh no, my mama's at the thing. So that's like a bit of drama. The guy tells her she's not been turned up in school, whatever. This stuff goes on and on and on. It's stuff about, like, she's saying, oh no, we were friends, I should have committed more to you and stuff. And he's like, you just used me for me cock. And it just really goes on for ages. And I'm just like, yeah, there's no point to this. I don't know what we're doing. Thought this was a show about a group of heroes, not, oh, she banged this guy and then didn't call him. But it is the CW, and it's CW after all. So they knock him out, and all the mob guys come up to, even though they were at church, they've now appeared. They're all like banging on the door. I'm like, there must be another doorway into this place, but they treat it as, no, it's just this garage door at the front. That's the only way of getting in and out of the building. So no, there'd be a side door, be a door out the back. They don't just make these things to have one entry. So yeah, they could just go to a different exit. They start hanging about in here. Cullen and Harper, they have a bit of a to do, and yeah, it's like maybe not the right place. Harper even says that, yet she still continues to keep saying, no, this isn't the time and place. You're still talking about it though. Move on. But we've got to find out why she banged the mob boss's son. The reason for it, I will make sure I get this right. I banged, she didn't say banged, but I'm just going to say that. I banged the mob to pay for your top surgery. Because, we all know why. It's very obvious for, switching genders. Just to do with that. It's to do with that. So yeah, that's again. I seen Disparu talked about that on Twitter. I was like, no, they don't fucking do that, do they? But yeah, that's apparently it. She banged a mob boss to get the money to pay for his surgery. Okay, that was time well spent, I guess. She's taking her mum home because she's fucking off her tits. Harvey throws the key away, and then he gets rang by what I can only assume is the Court of Owls. It's just piano music plays. Carrie gets phoned by her mum, and she's like, you better be in when I get home tonight. So yeah, then the police show up, because yeah, the police are on their payroll or something. But yeah, I don't know why they didn't just get in and get out. Just get in, get the file that you need for the 40th time, and leave. Don't hang about, because this is what happens. So they all come rushing in. They've ran off with the money. They're in the truck driving it. So now we get a car chase that goes on a bit too long. They go and, right, we need to slow them down. So they throw money out the back. It's like, right, that's paper. In what way is that going to slow the police down? Don't know. I suppose people start running out in the streets for it, but I'm pretty sure if you've got police cars with sirens, you're not going to run out in that road. So that's what they do, and then they get labelled the Robin Hoods or something like that. So they're now apparently heroes just because of that, even though they just threw money out there based on the fact that they were trying to get away from the police. They didn't do it for, let's give it back to the people of Gotham. So it's not even a heroic act either. So yeah, it's been reported on the news. They're like, these new Gotham Knights. Yeah, they're now calling them the Gotham Knights because they threw some money out there. It's not really heroic. Batman is heroic. Yet they seem to downplay that here. They seem to make it seem like Batman has done nothing. You know, you have this couple saying, the McKillans that was like the mob, the McKillans, were holding local businesses hostage for decades. And all they say is, oh, and it got worse after Batman left or was killed. So Batman hasn't done anything. He hasn't sorted out that, you know, at this point, most of crime families shouldn't really be doing these things because it's Batman. But no, Batman didn't do anything, apparently. Great. So, yeah, it's like the Gotham Knights, after today's redistribution of wealth, it seems we have a new generation of protectors. They didn't do anything. But okay, let's just finish this off anyway, because I ain't got much else to say. So Carrie goes home, sneaks in bed. Right, that's all that is. Again, it's always the same thing. It's always, right, we got 5 minutes to go. Play somber music. Every time. It's like, yeah, you're not doing anything, though. This whole storyline here about her and her mother didn't lead anywhere. Get rid of it. It's got nothing to do with anything. So he's already sketching Gotham Knights. They start talking about the transy stuff. I don't know, he's just like, you're so awesome for what you did for me. Alright, great. So that's all that is. Then Duella, again, only exists to tell us how characters are feeling. She's like, oh, you're out your comfort zone, you are, and you love it. And then she starts going, oh, you've been betrayed or something. I was betrayed by my dad, the Joker, who probably would have been very abusive. I was betrayed. Right, that's a good thing. I don't know why she's like, that's a bad thing. That is, my daddy left me, even though he's a psychopathic murderer, abusive, and you're like upset about that. You've got no clue. And then, so at this point, I was like, have you forgot what you were actually doing about these files you went and got for the 40th time? But yeah, they throw it in like the last 2 minutes. They're like, oh, it's a bunch, it's in code. You know, the people that it's to do with, it's all in code. So that's going to be the next episode, is we got to break the code. I swear, if they spend the whole episode breaking a code, I will lose my shit. But I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to spend the whole episode, or they come up with another mysterious file that they need to find. So it then ends on Harvey. He wakes up in that woman's bed, and he's like, oh shit, how the fuck did I get here? So yeah, that is the route they're going with it. He's just got a split personality disorder. So that makes him Two-Face. When you could do it even much more in an interesting way. I mean, you just have to look at the Dark Knight. You know, guy has a bit of a time, and that kind of fucking turns him mental. Rather than, he just wakes up in other people's beds and stuff. So that's what we're doing there. See, to be honest, I would rather watch what Harvey's up to. He's probably the only the only actor, really. I can't figure everyone else. I'm just like, whatever you say. Whereas him, I'm like, yeah, you're all right. You know, you're not too bad. You're not an asshole. You're not a narcissist. So you got some qualities there. Some qualities. But yeah, you know, again, another episode, a really empty episode. Even more empty than last week's episode, which I didn't really. I for some reason I managed to talk about it for 45 minutes. The previous episode. But yeah, nothing happened. It's the same in this episode. It's just, we got to get a file, and that's it. That's all. And just a little bit of fake drama to throw in there, which doesn't actually go anywhere. The Stephanie side plot was the weirdest. I was just confused the whole time. I'm like, so what are we doing here? We already knew that her mum was a junkie, so it's not any new information. So yeah, it didn't bring anything to the table. It's just like, oh yeah, her mum's a junkie. Right, okay, is that it? That it? Nothing else? We're not going to... No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that at all. But that is episode 5. Never ending show. But I will finish off there, and I guess I'll be back for episode 6 next week.